What are the advantages of having a business plan? One is, of course, that you use it to convince others, for instance investors, of your idea, or if you're setting off completely on your own, then it's helpful to have a business plan to show other people. If your friends tell you, hey, check out my idea and check out this business plan, I think it will be done this way, what do you think? This is perhaps possible. If you only mention vague half-thoughts, then nobody will listen to you. But if you suddenly pull out 20 pages, then people will think, this guy or gal is serious. I better hear him out and take a closer look. And now the preliminaries for attracting investment. Of course, a systematic procedure is very important here. Always be making systems. The more systems you have, the easier your company will operate. Everybody knows his or her function. If somebody leaves, he or she is very easily replaced. If you want to do anything new, simply take the existing system and apply it to a new market. It's very important. Systematic procedures are one of the chief advantages of having a business plan. What's next? The possibility to assess success. This is a very important factor because you want to know whether you are successful. You might say, I'm successful because I earn 10k a month. There are others who earn 100k per month and others who earn 1 million per month. Really? Why? Maybe nothing more is possible. What is success? Success is the state of being satisfied or excited from one's own activity. This is all that's required for success. Numbers and amounts on their own are not really relevant at all. If I have satisfaction and excitement, then I'm successful. And this can be checked by a simple verification of the numbers and knowing whether the numbers fulfill any certain expectation. If I expect 5,000 euros and then later earn 10,000 euros, then this of course is exciting news, because I earn there twice as much as my expected earning. This is a simple example of a success assessment in a business plan. The goal is clearly delineated. Then of course, improved risk estimation. Consider what would be your course of action. Then you'll be able to better estimate your risks. Most people only see opportunities. What's the potential of my company? It's incredible, but there is always and everywhere risk. This risk must be balanced with your optimism. This is what we call a risk estimation. Yet another benefit of a business plan is having the bird's eye view. If you want a global impression of your operation, then you can view your business plan. Everything you need is contained therein, compact, fast and rapid. Planning the growth of your company's success is yet another benefit of having a business plan. If you have a plan, then you will have more success. This is just like having goals. If you set goals, whether business or private, you will automatically have more success because you're guided by them. I must admit that I used to believe the following: setting goals and writing them on paper and placing them in my wallet. This whole tradition must have been invented by a wallet manufacturer, because there are always more goals, and I was always placing them in my wallet, and at a certain point my wallet exploded and a new wallet was needed due to all the goals which I had. And then came the time when I began to set goals with specific targets. You know what I'm talking about. Verifiable, measurable goals. I don't need to go into details here. It's rather universal knowledge. Indeed, having this type of goals means more success. It does not always need to be monetary either. That's not the most important aspect of life, and chasing money shouldn't be the final goal. It's most important to plan and do things to completion, and then go after the new targets. If this is codified in your goals, and you're constantly confronted with them, then you are more likely to act on them. This is the deciding factor. Many people, including entrepreneurs, fail to act, or they act too slowly. One of their biggest challenges, over which we also offer training courses, is taking the first step, starting to implement their plans and taking action. Often it's easier than we believe. Let's begin with a business plan and then we can look further. We will now take a look at dependency charts. This is an important point in creating a business plan. Where to begin? Am I dependent on them, or they on me? How can we bring this all into a simple and useful diagram? Then we proceed to the first step for an operations handbook. Do you have one? An operations handbook? What I mean by an operations handbook is a collection of meticulously detailed processes for your business, be it in video format, in text format, or whatever. An operations handbook, depending on how large your business is, can occupy up to several binders. Do you know what often leads to chaotic situations in a company when one person leaves or gets ill? Somebody telephones the company. "Hi, this is John Doe from the company John Doe. Can I speak to Ralph?" "Oh, sorry, he's ill. Call back in a week, please. Nobody can help you now." What kind of operation is that? A business lacking an operations handbook. If you have an operations handbook, then you have systems and procedures, and when you have systems and procedures, then you have success. An additional hint: a business plan is the first step to having systems and procedures. An operations handbook is quite different to a business plan. It's the business plan to which we'll devote our concentration for the time being. At the risk of repetition, consider your own concept. Is this the concept which you really want? When you write that down or sketch it out, is it really the concept which you originally wanted? Do you have any chances with this concept? Don't be too pessimistic, but rather believe in yourself and in your own ideas. Just give it more consideration. Is there anything which makes you think that you could, for instance, improve this or that part, revise that section, review your capital requirements or your marketing materials? Just give it further thought as to whether your concept is exactly as it should be. This will become clearer when you create your business plan for the first time. Now we continue. Oh, wait. There's another slide about the entrepreneur. I have everything prepared on the slides, but when I get started presenting, I often follow different sequences from those which I prepare at my desk. Once in the training, there are often suddenly better sequences available. Just one more slide, this time concerning the composition of a business plan. This means I will prescribe for you a specification in the form in which a business plan is preferred by the banks. I've included various positions which you should fill in, and then you will have, in principle, everything which banks are looking for nowadays in a business plan. There's always room for your own creativity. Since I have no idea what type of business you will have, are you starting from scratch? Are you making an investment? Are you improving your existing business plan for changing needs? Are you simply tidying up your existing business plan? I don't know what your situation, what your intentions are, whether the business plan will at all be made public. The specification which I am giving you is that which you can use to approach a bank or an investor, or interested in making a merger or similar. It answers their expectations and frequently asked questions. If your situations and intentions are different, and you're making a business plan just for you, then you can change and adjust the specification accordingly. It's important to remember that if you want to sell your company one day, if that becomes your focus, then you will need to make your business plan exactly according to the specification. The convergence of your plans and this specification becomes the business plan which you are about to create. Let us begin with the layout. How does a business plan look? There must be at least 5 pages. Never just one page, never just one graphic. It will only be taken seriously if it's 5 pages or more. A business plan is minimum 5 pages. Not 5 A5 pages, but 5 A4 pages. Font size should not be larger than 12 dpi. You should always keep this in mind. More is more when it comes to business plans. There are, however, limits to anything. A business plan may contain maximum 50 pages. Larger companies may have business plans of 50 pages. Otherwise, your business plan becomes more of an operations handbook. I once heard that venture capital groups who receive thousands of business plans spend about 10 minutes per business plan in the first phase. If it isn't clear what's going on within 10 minutes of reading, what the potential is and how it all works, then they move on to the next business plan. If your business plan is a 500-page monster, then it's discounted immediately. There's no time and no attention span available for reading 500 pages. A further point is the binding. Don't simply give a pile of papers, but provide your business plan in a bound form. Here is an additional slip. Don't rely on these glued bindings. I'm not an expert on bindings, and maybe it's possible to find glued bindings which actually work. I've always had the experience that when I open a booklet with a glued binding and hold it open flat, I hear some suspicious ripping noises and have the impression that it won't be long until this binding fails, and of course exactly when the first pages start flying out of the binding. Avoid this by using a spiral binding. They're fail-safe. Booklets with spiral bindings can be opened and shut without any risk of failure. The next point, make your writing accessible and easy to read. Don't use too much specific jargon. This is especially important if you're giving your business plan to a bank, because they'll not understand all the details of your business. But they must understand your business plan. So don't include too much jargon in your business plan, but make it easy to read for anyone. The next topic concerns the possible inclusion of audio or video. Audio and video are becoming more and more popular. I anticipated the boom in video production already several years ago, and therefore it's acceptable to include audio in the same discussion. Describing the business plan in audio format, or even making a video to describe it, both are possible. They're both quite modern options, but they will set your business plan apart from the rest. Imagine that you go to the bank where they're expecting a conventional business plan and you show up with a DVD or CD. That would be extraordinary. That would set you apart from the rest, and it shows that you have something special going on. And now, finally, I'm getting to the suggestion which I brought up several times, and this is write your business plan yourself. If you're the boss of the company, then create the business plan yourself. Don't give it to any third parties to be prepared. Do it yourself. Why? Let's put the corporate intellectual property aside for now, which I've already mentioned on several slides already. The real reason is that it's your company. The business plan declares where you want to go and what you want to achieve. To be frank, I won't be giving this task to any employee, because then the company will develop as he or she sees it. It's very clear that the business owner creates the business plan, him or herself, and this is even more important if you're a one-man show. There are offers online for writing business plans, and these are probably serious offers too. But don't miss out on the chance to write your own business plan, even if you don't feel like doing it at all, because it will come back to be very helpful in the future. You might not believe this at the beginning, but you should ask around. Ask people who have business plans. Ask them how much their business plans help them for their daily business. It's an enormous help, and therefore you must absolutely write your business plan yourself. I can only recommend this to everyone, so that they haven't missed the chance. Write it yourself, even if you don't feel like doing it. Even if it takes you longer than it takes somebody else. The time which you now invest in creating your business plan will be repaid to you hundredfold in the future. Believe me.